So the difference between my country and India is actually the problem is basically the same. Waste is an issue, but it's just in Europe, it's out of sight, out of mind. And in India, it's just right in front of your eyes. I bought a few items, but I think I bought 7 items in the past 7 years. It's really simple. Just go with your reusables, gift something that's either compostable or recyclable. I thought that the best way to get people to change is just to do your thing and answer to their questions if they ask. You can't live healthy in an environment that's not healthy.
If you care about what you wear, this conversation will open your eyes to what you throw, repair, and reuse. From slow fashion to shopping secondhand, Laure and I unravel why our clothes matter and how living zero waste isn't extreme but essential. Welcome to Rooted by Arpitharai, formerly Style Meets Sustainability. This new name holds the same heart but with deeper roots. Here we uncover stories from below the surface, voices shaping a more conscious and circular fashion world. I am Arpita, and this is where we grow slowly and intentionally. Today's guest is Laure. She's lived a nearly zero waste life for 8 years, documenting her choices, learnings, and creative solutions on Instagram and through public talks. From menstrual hygiene to mending clothes, from composting to conscious shopping, she is living proof that a mindful life is not just possible, it's powerful. Hi, Laure. Welcome to Rooted.
Thank you. Super glad to be here.
It's always a joy to connect with someone who's walking a similar path. And I have spent the last 20 years working in the fashion space, deeply rooted in sustainability for past 8 years. But today, I want to listen to your stories, your lifestyle, your thoughts. So, are you ready for it?
Yes, really.
Yes. So let's just have a free flowing, honest chat. And
Yeah.
that's how I want it to be today.
Okay, I'm full on.
Okay. If someone gives us their time today, like listening to our conversation, what do you think they will walk away with?
I hope they will walk away with inspiration to create even the smallest change in their life.
Oh, yes, I also hope so. Can you tell us a little about yourself, where you are from, your background, and what initially brought you to spend time in India?
So my name is Laure. I live a zero waste lifestyle, actually a nearly zero waste lifestyle, which is more what I do. And I was born in Belgium, raised in France. I started this lifestyle 8 years ago, and my big switch happened when I visited India for the first time. And meanwhile, I give talks about sustainability, slow fashion, zero waste. Oh, yeah. And I document all of these topics on my Instagram and YouTube channel. 9 years ago, approximately 10 years ago, I started to think, okay, where's my waste going? And because the waste in Europe is all nicely managed and it's out of sight, out of mind. So I was wondering, so what's happening with it actually? And then I realized actually it was not managed in the most optimal way, in the cleanest way, and that it does pollute. Landfills do pollute and incinerators do pollute. And actually, my journey started with transitioning to a menstrual cup. My entire journey to zero waste started like that. Actually, it started with two things: getting to know about endocrine disruptors and about menstrual cup. And I thought to myself, oh, how smart! I will spend only 20 euros, which is about 2,000 rupees, in a cup for the next 10 years. So it's cheap, it's convenient because I won't have to go to the shop anymore. It's reusable, so less waste, etc. And a friend of mine had told me cups are amazing, so just go for it. And I thought, okay. Then I tried and I got hooked. So that was the start. And at the same time, I got to know about endocrine disruptors, which are pretty much chemicals which are present in so many different products that we use on a daily basis, like cosmetics, cleaning products, scented candles, all of that. And if you are too exposed to these chemicals, it can create a whole bunch of different disease, neuronal disease, tumors, cancers, etc. And there's a lot, of course, of endocrine disruptors also in plastic. And that's also how slowly I decided to get rid of plastic as much as I could in my home. And that also moved into my clothes, because I decided to stop 2 years ago. I decided to remove all the synthetic fibers from my clothes, which is actually a big deal because nowadays there's a lot of mixing happening between natural fiber and plastic fiber. So it's a big challenge to remove completely synthetic fiber. Plus, synthetic fiber is more and more available and also more and more cheap. So yeah, I'll tell you later about all this.
Yeah, that's a very interesting way of life right now, like your life. So for me, also, menstrual cup was a major mindset change. Basically, I've always used sanitary pads all my life, and when I started menstrual cups, and I realized how much waste I was creating until then,
Mm,
and
mm,
now I know how much I am reducing my waste. And as you were mentioning about the fabrics, and I am in the process still, because being a fashion designer, I had many pieces from many years. I keep using clothes for very long, so those
yeah.
have these mixed fibers. So I'm
Mm,
slowly getting rid of them, but I don't want to throw them away because I don't want them in landfill. So I'm still using them as much as I can, but
right.
slowly replacing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I am trying from my end. What made you choose to build a lifestyle rooted in sustainability?
So actually, yeah, it's this eye-opening moment, no, where I realized that my waste was going to a landfill or to an incinerator, and that it was going to pollute the environment. So that's why I started thinking to myself, oh, I want to reduce my waste. And then at the same time came this friend who told me about the menstrual cup. Then I started to make small shifts, like using a reusable bottle, no more straws, no more plastic bags. I would take only cloth bags and go to I would go to the market, local market. First, there was a local market happening next to my place most of the days. So I had easy access to package-free items. So I would go there to get all of that in my cloth bags. And yeah, I would start slowly like that to mind more and more my waste. But the biggest aha moment for me, there were two, and those happened actually in India. The first was when I came to India. I came very randomly to India. I had never planned to come to India. And then yoga pretty much brought me to India. And while I was traveling and discovering yoga in India, I could see so much waste especially in the countryside, but also in the cities, in the water bodies, etc. So as I was already thinking about my waste and in that slow and gradual transition, I thought to myself, okay, I don't want to be part of this. And then I visited Oroville and I visited the waste management place of Oroville. And they explained actually that all the non-recyclables, I mean, they said they would micro-segregate waste as much as possible and then send it all off for recycling. That's amazing. But there's, of course, still non-recyclables left. And those non-recyclables would be put in the bare land, in a pit. I just couldn't be part of this. I didn't want to be part of that unconscious consuming. And I didn't want my waste to go there in the bare land, and which would potentially pollute the water, the environment, etc. And that's how I started to read more and more about zero waste. I don't know how I came across this concept, but I started to read about it, watch videos. Actually, there's this woman, Bia Johnson, which is apparently the zero waste guru in the world. And I watched a lot of her videos to understand how zero waste works, etc. And then I slowly started to apply it to my life after 2 years of transition from like a regular lifestyle to a zero waste lifestyle.
That's very interesting to know. And you have mentioned some changes which you have adapted in the beginning of our conversation.
Mhm.
What some of the biggest mindset shifts or lifestyle changes you had to make early on?
The biggest mindset changes you have to do in the beginning is avoid supermarkets. Basically, avoid supermarkets. That's where you have the most plastic and where you will not manage to get package-free items. That's, I think, the biggest one. Because what you have to do is reorganize your, reorganize the way you buy stuff. Means, for instance, normally you just go to the supermarket, get a lot of stuff that's packaged in your basket, go home and with your plastic bag, and then you just put everything in the cupboard. When you live a zero waste lifestyle or when you want to avoid plastic, then first of all, you need to take cloth bags and containers with you. Then usually I would recommend to go to a local market. Then you buy all the stuff in your bags, in your containers. Then you go home and either you just store your stuff or you transfer from the bags into containers and store it like that in your kitchen.
Oh, yes, I also do the same. I generally avoid supermarkets. Once I moved to the village side, now I go to the local market once a week where we get all the fruits, vegetables, and all the groceries as well, the
Yeah,
pulses and all those things. So it's a
yeah,
lovely way of shopping. I enjoy it.
yeah.
You speak openly about menstrual hygiene. What have you adopted in your own life, and what do you think people should know when exploring sustainable menstrual options?
I use all the reusable, sustainable options available in the market, meaning I use a cup, I use cloth pads, and I use menstrual underwear. I use them according to what I do. In the sense that, for instance, at nighttime, I would always use either a cloth pad or menstrual panty, period panty. If I do workout or if I go swim for a hike or if I go for a long journey, I think usually I use my cup because also the cup you can keep it for 10 hours without emptying it. So it's a long time. And then I use cloth pads mostly when I'm at home or when I'm at work or not so far from home, basically. All right. So what you need to know is that reusable, sustainable period products are good for three things: your wallet, the environment, and for your health. First of all, when it comes to health, a single-use pad is made of up to 90 to 95% of plastic. So you are putting plastic on the most sensitive and absorbent part of your body, first of all. So also plastic pads are made with additives, petroleum, all of that, just a cocktail of chemicals. They also have dioxins inside and a whole bunch of crap that you don't want to absorb because it could create disease very easily, very simply. So for that reason, you want to avoid single-use pads. Also, they don't breathe versus cotton. Cotton does breathe, so doesn't give rashes. Plastic pads will very easily give rashes for the simple reason that it doesn't. So that's one more thing. Then it's so much cheaper to go for reusable period products because you use them over and over and over and pay them only once. So over time it's cheaper, plus it's so much more convenient because you don't need to go to the shop and stuff to buy them. So you lose less time shopping if you use reusable period products. As I said, a cup, it lasts for 10 years. Period cloth pads, they last for 3 to 5 years. And period underwear, I don't remember, but it's also a couple of years. And obviously it depends how you use them and treat them and stuff, but it's several years for sure. And then the last part is obviously that reusable period products will always pollute less than obviously single-use period products.
I totally agree with you. For me personally, a menstrual cup helped me. It's like the best thing which I have understood about. And I
Hmm.
used to have these period panties as well, but somehow I'm not convenient with it. I don't know. Somehow I didn't like them. But menstrual cup is the best for me. So
Hmm.
yeah, whatever points you have shared are really useful, and everybody should listen to it and learn from it. Now, coming to clothing choices. How do you approach shopping today, especially when it comes to clothing? I know you do secondhand shopping and you take clothes from free store and everything. Has secondhand shopping or choosing not to shop at all become part of your lifestyle?
Yeah, totally. I stopped buying new clothes, I think 7 years ago now, new items. And apart from that, I got only secondhand. I started to get only secondhand or to reuse whatever I already have because I realized that the fashion industry is the second most polluting industry in the world. And I thought to myself, well, then it's easy to do something about it. Just go secondhand. Secondhand is also so much cheaper. And the funny thing is that so many people have just too many clothes. I experienced that because as people now know that I use only secondhand clothes, well, they give me organically clothes. And so sometimes I get like really nice clothes actually, and they're not damaged. Actually, sometimes they're almost new because people just wear them once and then forget about it or don't like it anymore or things like that. So that's one source of getting clothes for me. So from friends, family who give it to me. But I also like to to organize exchange party with my friends or family. So here the deal is that you are several friends coming together and you just bring all the clothes that you don't want anymore. You put them all like on the couch, on the table, have a nice drink or piece of cake with your friends. And meanwhile, you just check the clothes and exchange them. And then obviously it's all for free. And whatever's left over, usually either I give them to the free store in Oroville or in France, I just give them to a charity. Otherwise, I go to the free store of Oroville, which is basically a store where all the clothes are free. So you can give them for free and take them for free. And the last thing is in France, I go to secondhand shops. What I like also is that most of the clothes are different, they're not like in Zara or Mango or these brands, H&M, and everybody wears the same. And often also I find good quality clothes. That's what I also like. So definitely I boycott fast fashion for the longest time. And that's how my expenses on clothing are actually very less because secondhand is cheaper. And also, I keep a minimal amount of clothes. I also get clothes that I really like, and I try to have just a minimum amount of clothes because also I have never liked shopping and enjoyed shopping. And my way of shopping has always been like straight to the point, like I need this, so I want to find it. I wouldn't spend hours in shopping malls. I've always hated that. So yeah, this is how I go about fashion pretty much.
That's lovely to know. The way you are doing is the best way. For me, being a fashion designer, I was exposed to so many clothes and I was completely into fast fashion. And from past 8 to 9 years, like before that as well, I was doing haul videos and all that for my YouTube channel. Then I realized if I buy these clothes, what will I do with those many clothes? Then I stopped and thought, I don't want to do haul videos, I don't want to shop. That's where my thinking shifted. Then I started to look at all my wardrobe. I have so many clothes that I have given to so many of my friends, relatives, these free stores, everything. But still, I have clothes. Those many clothes I had. And then I also have fabrics with me. So these are all handloom fabrics, and also now I started using them as my to build my new wardrobe. And then I upcycle some of those old fabrics and garments. Like this scarf is upcycled. I've just patched all different kinds of fabrics, whatever are with me, and then made it into a scarf. So I do these things nowadays. But as you correctly said, we don't need so many clothes, and there are so many clothes in this world. And yeah, one person reduces it is also a big thing. And now you repair, reuse, and upcycle your clothes. What role does that play in your daily life?
So upcycling, I don't do really, but I really like to. I mean, I like anything that's upcycling. Repairing, I also support that a lot. I do repair my clothes. I mean, I repair them a little bit myself, or I would bring them for repair if possible. Like I had a pair of jeans which I liked recently, and the zip was gone, so I just brought it to a tailor to change it, and now I can use it for another few years, I guess. But what I do most is to reuse clothes. So since I use so many secondhand clothes, you reuse my friends and family's clothes, which I particularly like because when I wear these clothes, it reminds me of them. For instance, now this T-shirt is an ex-colleague's, and I really like it because it makes me think of her and our previous work that we did together and stuff. So in that sense, I really like to reuse. I also reuse a lot of my own clothes in the sense like I really use them till the core, and if ever they are gone, I would use them for cleaning or things like that. But for instance, I have a nightie which I have been using for 20 years and which is still in amazing condition. It might have been rotting in the cupboard for a few years, but I mean, it's been 20 years that I'm using it, and I found that really mind blowing. First of all, I'm mind blown by the quality, and that the color is still great and stuff. So yeah, that's a little bit my story about reusing, upcycling.
I love the way you talked about your nightie. That's like really good thing you are doing there. And this top which I'm wearing today, this is given by one of my very good friends, and this is been with me for 10 years, and she must have worn it for 10 years already. So it's
Wow.
always been
Yeah,
with. It's like
yeah.
that. And then I want to talk about this re-wearing part, and then taking hand me downs. So in India, I have met some people who say I don't want to take clothes from somebody else. When I was talking to one gentleman about taking clothes from somebody and wearing them, you take them in the free stores everywhere. So that man was saying there are these energies which you cannot take it. In India, generally there is a practice of elders' clothes going to the younger. Kids, newborn kids also wear used saris or something like that. So I asked him, then he says that's from your family, not from somebody else who you don't know. Then I was shocked. I told him, you can wash the cloth, that particular
Yeah,
garment. All the energies are gone. You wash them, dry them nicely, use them again. But he was
yeah.
not ready to accept that. And now I want to understand from your perspective. You are a traveler. You keep traveling, so you are okay. Maybe you are ready to take all the things. But what goes on traditionally? What happens there? Like, do you also follow these kind of hand-me-downs in your country, or just because you're traveling, is it convenience, or how do you get into this taking others' clothes? Don't you have these kind of feelings of somebody's energies are passing through these clothes to me? Those kind of negative thoughts. I particularly don't have all those, but I generally want to understand what's your mindset on that.
I think just in general, some people might find it not so clean. In terms of energies, I don't think anyone cares. But hygiene probably, but knowing that the secondhand market in Europe is becoming really big, especially in France, there's more and more secondhand platforms. Even it's somehow a problem because, you know, people like to buy so many clothes and then finally they don't want it so much anymore, or they got bored of it super fast and they sell it again on the secondhand platform. So in that way, it encourages buying even more. So it's, which is a little counter effective. But yeah, I think in Europe, secondhand has become more and more normal. And also, I saw that on my Instagram account because I sometimes I do polls to ask people like who else is wearing secondhand, and I see more and more like just normal people answering yes, I also do wear secondhand. And again, it's like it's cheaper. The clothes are in good condition. They're not torn or anything. So yeah, I really feel like there's a big evolution in that on that side in Europe.
Yeah, I can see that market as well. Everywhere actually in India also it's catching up actually. In social situations like gifting, festivals, or even simple gatherings, waste often becomes hard to avoid. How do you manage these kind of situations for yourself when you are part of all these situations? What do you do?
So during festivals, for me, actually, it's pretty simple. Just go with your reusables, you know. And I think in this kind of situation, what's super important is to apply the first principle of zero waste, which is to refuse. Refuse whatever is not recyclable, whatever is not compostable, whatever is single use. And I stick very strongly to that because I really don't want to use anything that's single use. And so during a festival, I would bring my cutlery, my cups, things like that. I know a brilliant brand, for instance, Bare Necessity, and they sell those reusable cups, you know, those clippable. You can just go like this with your cup and you can put it in your pocket, which are
Affordable.
super useful, especially for those who like chai and Indian stuff. Um, then I also have my little kit from Kitlery with a fork and spoons and straw, metal straw. It's all in metal, so that I can use and reuse it over and over again. And I would just put these two in my bag and just go anywhere. You just need to think twice before you go somewhere that you don't forget it and put it in your purse. But yeah, I think, see, my take on all these festivals, weddings, and everything is that we used to know how to live without plastic. Why are we not capable of doing it again? You know, knowing that we know how harmful the plastic is on our health, on the environment. Let's just go back to reusables. It's just as simple as that. And when it comes to gifting, also think twice about what you offer, what you gift, and how you wrap it, because the wrappings are gonna make generate more waste. And think twice also of what you offer, because if it's plastic and unrecyclable, it's gonna become a huge problem. And whereas if you gift something that's either compostable or recyclable, well, then it won't become an issue. And yeah, it's just as simple as that.
For me also, refuse is the first rule. So whoever comes home, they don't bring anything anymore. Initially it was a very awkward thing for them to listen that I'm saying no to many things. Like in our
Mm-hmm.
houses there is a ceremony happening. They will gift you a sari or certain things
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's a tradition. So I keep saying, I don't want saris. I don't want anything. Please don't give me anything. Give me fruit. That's enough for me. So all those kind of things were very awkward for whole family because it's a
Mm-hmm.
tradition. I'm going against the tradition. But
Yeah.
I am very particular on that, and I keep telling them, give me anything. And I tell
Yeah.
the same thing for my kid as well. When they come over, they're like, "Arey, how can we come without getting any gift for the kid?" So I keep saying, please don't bring anything. We have so much. Your coming itself is enough for us. That's the biggest
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about slow fashion. How do you define it? And what role do you think individual choices play in this movement?
So slow fashion to me, in opposition to fast fashion, is anything that lasts long. It's just basically what we used to do back in the days is that we have something, we want it to last long, and we want to repair it if it's torn, or we want to upcycle it eventually if a part of it is gone, or something like that. So slow fashion for me is that is make sure that whatever you get will last long, and also less. Less is more in slow fashion.
That's a good answer there. And how have your surroundings supported or challenged your sustainability journey?
Haha, that's a good question. I think, as people stick around me, they get influenced, and that's also the point. But I think what has evolved most of all is the way I express myself, my opinions, to the people around me. I think, like many people, I used to have that time where I was angry, upset that I was the only one making efforts and that anyone else doesn't care or doesn't even think about the impact of waste on their health and on the environment. Slowly, and thanks to all the talks that I gave also, so just embed the right example, and whenever they're ready, they will come to you. They will observe you over and over and over how you do it. Eventually, say it's weird or things like that. I didn't have much that kind of comments, so nobody. I don't know if people didn't dare or didn't just feel like criticizing my lifestyle, but mostly people just let me do. And I try also not to impose too much on my family. For instance, like when we would go to the supermarket and stuff, I just let them buy their things, in plastic and all, and I would just buy things and try to get as much in bulk as possible. So I would try to blend with them, but yeah, if I'm on my own, I would do my style and my way. Some people would also tell me that my lifestyle is too extreme. That happened a couple times, not much, but that happened. And I told these people, see, the thing is, the problem is huge, is extreme. So you need an extreme reaction. And I don't feel like putting anything that's non recyclable in the earth because I know the impact. Most of all, I'm conscious about the impact on my health. So many people are saying save the environment, save the planet, and all of that. I stopped saying this in my talks and I started telling people just be so selfish. Think about yourself and your health because we can't live healthy in an environment that's not healthy. Whatever you give to nature, nature is going to give it back to you, and utterly, you might just be punished by what you're giving to the environment. And also, and most of all, the environment, nature is very resilient. They will manage with the waste. Whereas us human beings, we won't manage because what's going to come back to us is simply disease. And so that's now the discourse I have to try to convince people to make a change in their life and reduce waste.
Oh, yes. I really love how you are approaching this whole thing. And for me, there were so many comments and so many eyes rolled about my choices because I generally wear 4 to 5 tops. Those are the ones which I repeatedly wear. So people are looking at me wearing only those clothes. They might be thinking I don't even take a bath, but I don't care. And then I shaved my head like recently, 1 year ago, kind of. So that is also one of the reason to reduce my consumption because plastic shampoo bottles, so many bottles are accumulating, and
Yeah.
I started thinking, why do I even need a shampoo? Then I started using these soap nuts and I tried many things, and now I decided, okay, I don't need hair itself. Because why do we need hair? If somebody feels they want to have long hair, that's their choice. But I felt no, I don't need it. So I shaved it off. So I tried my ways, and this hair shaving is a big thing. Everybody were like complaining in my family. My mom, till today, she keeps saying, "Oh, your hair did not grow from that day." I'm like, I've kept on shaving it. She's like, "Why? Why do you do it?" So that happens regularly for me. As you were also mentioning a little bit earlier, we all hit moments when this lifestyle feels tough or lonely. And what helps you stay grounded or inspired during those times?
See, for me, it's very easy. I am super determined, and I think you need determination to apply this lifestyle. I mean, a zero waste lifestyle, which is the lifestyle that I've been living for 8 years. I've never felt lonely because I've always felt satisfied by following this lifestyle in the sense that I feel good and I feel guilt free and I feel active in a problem that's global. For instance, when I see waste around me, I'm like, well, at least I'm not part of this. It's not my waste and I don't contribute to this. So that's a huge motivation for me. And the second huge motivation for me is that plastic is just bad for health, pretty much. Whenever you have some food in plastic containers and that the food is either greasy, acidic, or hot, plastic could leach into your food and you could eat the plastic. I think by now everybody knows that we are full of plastic, but we don't know yet the impact on humans. And I think research has not gone far enough and has not proved enough yet how many disease this creates. I am convinced that there's going to be a boom of disease at some point, or that we're going to connect the dots at some point. So to prevent that, I avoid plastic as much as I can, again, for health reasons. So all these motivations are very strong inside me. So I don't feel lonely. I almost don't know anyone who has a zero waste lifestyle, but I think to myself, like I try to accept others the way they are and where they are, in the sense that I think to myself, as long as they do something, it's good because it means that they are started. They're in that loop, in that mindset and stuff. So in the best case, they will evolve in that thinking and start to live more and more sustainably and be more and more conscious.
Oh, yes, I totally agree with you on that. In my house as well, when I started to get into this kind of lifestyle, I started eliminating the products like face wash, shampoo. So once the
Yeah.
face wash is gone, so what is the alternative for it, which is natural and environment friendly? So I came with
Mm.
pea powder, basin it is called. So I
Yeah.
started replacing it. So there is no face wash in the house. So my daughter started
Mm.
using it. My mother-in-law started using it. So in our house, no face wash anymore. Shampoo,
Mm.
the same. Soap nuts, or I make soaps nowadays at home. Like these are all not a good soap, but they do the job. So I make the soap as well. So these kind of things, I started replacing the regular plastic filled items.
Yeah.
And I believe in one thing, like this came to me like 2 years ago. If one person like me, if I change myself, I don't have to ask anybody around me. Just change my habits, and slowly everybody will move around that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I strongly believe in it, and I have seen changes happening in my family with my friends group without even telling them to do anything. So that's the best part. As you were saying, you should be selfish and just
Mm.
think about yourself, your health, and your contribution to the environment. That's it. Everything will fall in place. I totally agree with you on that.
Mm.
So for someone listening who's curious but overwhelmed, where should they start? What's one thing they can do today?
Stop accepting and using plastic bags and switch to cloth bags.
Yeah, that's the best way to start. Before we wrap up, I do this little segment with all my guests, something that connects each episode to the next. I ask every guest a question that was left for them by the previous guest. And once you have answered it, you will get to leave a question for our next guest too, someone who also works in the sustainable fashion. So here's the question that was left for you. What is the most recent thing that you appreciated or celebrated for the sustainable change that you brought through your work?
I guess one of the last talks I gave, 60 people showed up, or 60 people registered, and I was really super happy about that because I never had so many subscriptions. So yeah, I guess that was a celebration.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And now it's your turn. What's one thoughtful question you would like to leave for our next guest?
What did you do this week to reduce your waste?
Ah, lovely, lovely question. Yeah. Okay, Laure, that's where our conversation ends. How was your experience being part of Rooted by Arpitharai?
Oh, I loved it. It was really amazing. I always love and enjoy so much to talk with like-minded people from all over the world because we all have different experiences and different things to learn from each other. And I must say, I really, really love your upcycled clothes. So, and I think it's amazing, to have started a podcast to inspire people because I think that's what we need. We need to inspire more people, sow more seeds in people's heads. Hopefully, they will shoot and make trees, sustainable trees in their heads. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for nice words for me and my collection. And I also hope everybody grows into nice big trees, sustainable trees. And I will leave all your contact details in the description box for everyone to check out. Thank you so much, Laure. That was amazing talking to you. Thank you for your time. And I opened my mind to many things talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
We can't always control the systems around us, but we can choose how we move within them. In each quiet choice to reuse, to mend, to refuse, we reclaim our power. Laure reminds us that sustainability isn't a performance, it's a practice. Thank you for rooting into this space with us. Until next time, stay grounded, stay intentional. This is Rooted by Arpitharai.